Record. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We are here with another website office hour training day. A couple weeks ago, we did a round on the Divi builder with the different modules. We started with some of the very, very basic modules. If you come to our training.librarieswin.org page that we have here, there is a demonstration page for our last session, which was on the text toggle, image gallery, and blog post slider modules, just so you see what they look like on a page. And there's also a little bit, we'll have a little more fleshed out, like how you can do some things with them as time goes on. But this is a demonstration page. If I click on this, you will see that here is just examples, not really any instructions on how to add them or how to use them, just what they look like on a page. So we have a text module next to a toggle module box, an image module, a gallery module that has multiple images in it, and then a blog module, a post slider module. That was what we covered in the last session. If you want to review that, you can go to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about the next set of Divi modules, which today will include the Accordion module, the Blurb module, the Call to Action module, and Tabs module. These modules are specifically good for different ways of displaying text, some of them for displaying large amounts of text, and some of them for just giving some pop or some attention to text that you just want to have a small amount, but you want to draw your user's eyes to them. For a reminder, anytime you want to add a module to a page, I'm going to slip back here and I'm going to go into the back side of our demonstration page here. And anytime you want to add a module, you would click on this black plus that pops up with the add a new module. And this gives you that entire drop-down library. So today we're going to be looking at, in alphabetical order, the Accordion module, the Blurb module, the Call to Action. And I have to scroll down here a little bit. Oh, yeah, I did the Blurb module. Scrolling down so you can see the whole thing here. The toggle module, or is it not the toggle module, the tabs module down in here. So these are in alphabetical order as you go to look for them. It's a long list, and there's actually a bunch more that you can add from Divi itself. I believe you would have access to some of the paid ones on there because we have paid subscription with Divi, but the Explore More modules will bring you up a whole slew of user-created modules. So that was how you would start to add the modules. What I'm going to do first is show you what they look and how they behave. So the first one here is an Accordion module. It is meant, so when you see this little tab or icon next to it, when you click on it, it will collapse the information in one part and it will open the information in the bottom. So this one's just a duplicate of the same thing. If I were to edit this module, I can add as many of these accordion collapses as I want. This is a really handy tool for when you need to show or have a large amount of information, but you don't want to have to scroll a bazillion times. I'm going to give you actually a web page where let me bring this page over as an example. This is an example of how, and you should all be seeing the Board of Trustees for the WVLS page. You might do this for your library board page. This is an example of all these past meeting documents have been added to this. When you click on the plus for August 19th, you will see all of the documents for the first meeting. Close it, and then you have all of the documents for the May 20th meeting here on the website. This way you can find your meeting date fairly quickly, and simply by clicking on it, you will have access to all the documents without having to scroll endless times. a quick look at how this module works. I'm actually going to do this on the back end just for just so that we don't have to play with the editor today. But on the back end, if I scroll down, you see I have the accordion module here. When I come into, oops, I didn't mean to duplicate it, sorry. When I come in to edit it, this is the first one of the accordion module. This is a second, and I can add a third simply by duplicating. When you click on the gear, you're brought in here to title, to give the title to your module. So this is an accordion module is the title I have on each one of these. And then each one of these, I just got it duplicating, saying an accordion module can hold a large amount of text. And if that's what I want, I click OK. And now I have 3 of those accordions there. And if I update my page, now I have 1, 2, 3 accordion modules in a row in this space. And so this, again, you can hold a large amount of text, and your reader simply clicks on the box to expand the text. Any questions on the accordion module? Then the next one that I'm going to scroll down to is the Blurb module. A Blurb module and is misspelled in this particular instance. I need to fix that. The Blurb module contains a title and some text. And there's a couple variations you can do on this. This is a very basic Blurb module. It has it has a title. It has just a little bit of text. It doesn't do anything fancy. This is as basic as it gets, other than I did add a border to it just so you could see it among the other Blurb module examples here. This one has a link added to it. So you can create a Blurb module and add a link to it. So when you click on it, it will take you to another page. And in this case, I left the link to the Divi demonstration of how to use the Blurb module. Each one of these modules does have a tutorial page on Divi. You can usually just do a internet search for Divi and the type of module you want to learn about. It does have a video here, and it has some how to use it. It will walk you through very, very step by step on some of the different ways to use a Blurb module. But what we have going on ours, I have a Blurb module here that has an image, and I have a Blurb module that has an icon. So you can use your own preloaded image with a title and some text. It's essentially like a caption for a picture, except it does have a title in there. And then an icon will just draw a reader's eye to an area. Maybe you have a link added in here, or you have some other information that you want your website visitor to see. Again, we'll go to the back side. The basic Blurb module has a title, and now there's some generate content with AI. So I have not yet played with that. That just appeared today. If you would like to make friends with our future robot overlords, you can see what might happen if you create some things with AI. It could save you some time. You can add text down here. This is where you would add your image and icon. So it's all on this front content page. You have your image and your icon. If you wanted to use an icon, you click yes, and it gives you a large number of icon options. You can search icons. Maybe you wanted a book, and then it will try to select for you book-like icons. And then once you're done, all you do is click, let's see, we'll do the pirate book, why not? And let's see, wasn't done with that. So we have our image, we have our icon, or we have our icon selected. Then if you wanted to, you can add your link. You can do a link to your title for your title link, or you can have your entire module link. And as usual, if you wanted it to open in a new tab, you would have to select the new tab option. So if you wanted this to go to the Blurb module, You copy and paste your link and then your title link URL. You can do some playing around with your background colors if you wanted to add a background just to see what that looks like. And again, your usual admin label. So let's see what that does to our page. So now we have that icon there with the text. Our title now has a link to it. You see my cursor turning into the little finger to or hand to move. And then it has the blue background. I wouldn't recommend this color. It really doesn't do much for website accessibility, but that would be the basic premise by how you would change those things. So I'm going to take those off right now. I don't want any of those in there at the moment. I'm going to move the background and save those changes. Update my web page. The next module that we will talk about is the call to action. There's a couple different options with the call to action. The call to action is similar to the blurb in that it is just meant for a small amount of text with a title. But what it does is it automatically uses the colors from your theme to create a contrasting color box. So the blurb is a white. Normally it would just be your standard default color, probably white on your website. This will use that contrasting color that is already programmed into your website to create a colored box for you to work with. The call to action module is pretty simple. It's just meant to be eye-catching, but you can add a couple features, like you can add a button, hence the call to action. If you click on the button, in this case, it will take you to, I programmed it to have the Divi call to action module in there. And that will give you the information from Divi on how to use their call to action module. If we look at the settings for a call to action, again, it has the generate content with AI, so go to town with that. Call to action here. This one does not have the button, but if we wanted to add a button, you can add the words that you would want. There might be some help here with the AI that I haven't played with yet. This is what it falls into the call to action text box right there. Do be warned, this is the default WordPress kind of setup where you have add media, and you can go ahead and add an image to your, oh, I don't want to upload, sorry. I just wanted to look for, you can add an image, you know, like maybe you want people to vote, and you can add that in there. It's probably going to wind up looking a little funky, depending on the amount of space that you're allowing for your call to action. So just be warned that you might need to play around with it a little bit to make an extra piece of media work in here. And then if you wanted your link, you could have a button link and you can have a module link. More than likely, you'd probably want to use the button link. And if you wanted to create the official, come on, we'll make a vote 411. And if we preview that change, now we've gone from having a plain call to action button. Now you have the call to action with an image, and now the button with the link for whatever it is you want your people to do. So this is a really good way to just kind of grab some attention and get people out there doing, signing up for a newsletter, or taking some other action that you might want to lead them to another website to do. Take a survey, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to discard changes. Let's see. Make my call to action. Actually, you know what? I might just kind of like that in the end. I think I might duplicate that. And then this one, I'm going to remove the image. and remove the link. And our final one for today, so it'd be just a short review of some options, is the tabs. I put these in alphabetical order, but the tabs is a little bit more similar to the very, very first one module we had, which was the tabs module is more similar to the accordion module in that it is a really good way to organize a lot of information in a small space. In this case, a tabs module automatically, it's a responsive design. So on a desktop, it will automatically reorganize itself from a top-down tabs selection to, depending on the width of the screen, it will create additional tabs side by side horizontally across the screen. So in this case, we have a wider space. This one, if you're working with responsive design or on a phone, more likely all of your tabs that automatically create this vertical arrangement. You can have, this is probably less like the accordion module. You're going to use probably just a moderate amount of text in here, just enough so that it's more like a stack of different blurbs. You have a little bit of information, plus a little more information, plus finally a little bit more information. I wouldn't go super deep, but sometimes it's right. One of the uses for the tabs would be if people are trying to access different types of information. Like if you were trying to do a different type of search, if a catalog search versus a website search versus maybe an archive search, if you had different links. And just like the other ones, you can add media. So when you have a tabs module, all three tabs appear inside this individual module. So you don't have to create three different tabs modules. These are three tabs within one module. And when you do this and you edit it, again, you could add some media. So if maybe you had your call to action to vote or something like that, and one tab, instead of using a call to action, if you had a tab that was how to register to vote, another one to find your polling place, and maybe another one with information, a link out to candidate information. You could complete and fill in the content individually for each one of these tabs. So it's all around one subject, but three different pieces. Your link is going to be a module link. So if you want to make sure each tab contains different links, you would need to make sure that that is included in your individual tabs. Okay. And that is pretty much, thank you. The book clubs, Amory did this. So I'm going to thank you for sharing this example. We've got a really good one from for the accordion module here. They have three different book clubs at Amory, and they wanted to be able to show the different book clubs, and but not have to have all of that to scroll through. So here we have a Books and Brews, and they've got their book that's upcoming in there. But then if I wanted to read the mystery book club, here we have what the mystery book club is doing, and I can collapse it again. And I'm guessing this looks pretty good on a phone too. Let's see what it would look like in that smaller size. As you resize it, the tab simply gets narrower. So now we're down to about a phone size. And again, you just scroll through and then you can close it up and click on your next one. Nicely done. Hey, any other questions or thoughts before we call it a day on the Divi module?
What would the advantage of doing that? It's an accordion right now. Would it be better as a tab, or would it really matter?
Oh, would it be done better with a tab? I see what your question was. I just thought it was a good example as accordions. Let me find you. I was going to pull up a website with that on it. Give me 2 seconds. Here, actually, why don't we do this? Because then we can do an absolute, or Okay. Just scroll in here. I'm actually going to go right to Amory. I'm going to hijack your page for a minute.
And it's the first page, actually.
Ah,
Oh,
I see you've got a book club's old page and a book club new page. So this is just book clubs.
I think if you scroll to the very, very top,
Is it alphabetically at the, or is it not?
it's alphabetically. Or it was. Now it's reverse alphabetical. Here it is, the very first one.
Oh, adult book clubs. Gotcha. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at this. What if we were to, just going to copy this row and we're going to add, so if we were going to do this whole thing, we would create a tabs here. And I'm going to add a new tab. And this would be, I'm going to pull my content over onto this page so I can see. Oops. Bruce. My problem is my last name is Brewster, so I'm just going to add this much of the content to this tab. And you can click, there's a couple different ways here. You can click this check mark. A note on these modules that have multiple pieces in them. When you click on this, it doesn't leave the entire module editor. It brings you back to the main page. So then you can add your next one in. And so now we're going to add the mystery book club.
Oh, because I did 3 separate rows, each with one accordion. I could have done one row with 3 accordions.
And there you go. There's a couple different ways. The page I actually showed you example does use separate accordions, but if you had done it with the 3 on the 1, then you would have seen how this one, it would behave like this, where 1 would always be open. And then these other ones, so there would always be 1 open. So you might need to decide if you want 1 always open, or if you want them all closed, then you have to do them as separate.
Okay, and that might be why I did it, because they're all closed.
They were all closed. So then let's see what it looks like with science fiction and fantasy. This, that. Then we check the bookmark again, and I'll fix that later. Let's preview these changes. So this is what you did have, and now this is what it would look like if it were tabs. So you would have more information and copy over all of your information. You could click here, or you could click here.
And the first one's open by default.
And the first one's open by default.
Okay, thank you.
And then if you look at it on this, you see how it restacks it. So this way they're not file folders anymore. Now they would be tabs like this. So you can play around with it that way.
On a slightly different matter, could you click the current science fiction and fantasy book club just for a sec?
This one?
Right there. If that's full screen,
Yes.
is there a way to get the picture to be on the left and the text to wrap to the right like it would in Word? In the good old days, I put a table in. That doesn't work well on when you look at it on a phone.
Yes. I was just going to say that you can, but it really gets, so did you see what,
No, what
I
did
wouldn't,
you push?
so did you see what I did?
No, what
Okay.
icon did you push?
Sorry. So if you click, what you would have done in the past is you would actually created a table, and with two cells, and you would have
Right.
put the image here and then the text here.
Right.
That is not mobile friendly anymore. It gets really confused.
Yes.
What you can do, if you just click on the
Image.
cover image itself and align left, and notice that this align left has the wrap included in it. This align left, or this no alignment, does not have a wrap. So this
Oh,
will do
okay.
that. What you
Okay.
have to, now where I'm going to warn you, you may or may not like it. What it will do is reallocate, because you have this so nicely formatted down here with the passbooks.
Right.
You may find you have to play a lot with the spacing here to not have it, to
Yeah.
not have this wrap where you don't want it to wrap. And as you know, spacing with a visual editor in what is actually a coded HTML is trying to give you the visual. It's not always, you don't always see what you get. Or it's not always going to look on your screen where you're editing it the way it actually will look when it's published. So,
Right. And everybody's got different monitors and so on. So,
right. So
and
just,
that's back to the old debate. The web was supposed to be hardware independent, and we're
yeah,
trying to make it be like a piece of paper.
right,
But
right.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
And it would just, but it's, things have gone
Okay.
many different ways. So
All right. Well, thank you for that. I will play with that and see what I prefer.
do what you like. It does look good right now, but yes, you could tweak that all day. Do you want me to
Thank you.
leave this tabs piece here, or do you want me to get rid of it?
Get rid of it for now, please.
Okay, very good.
I'll clone the page and play with it.
Sounds like a plan. I'm going to leave without saving changes to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions on these modules? And I'm going to pause my